Eden Prairie, how are we doing today? I'm great. Eden Prairie, how are we doing today? There we go. You know, when I hear him read that introduction, it honestly kind of blows my mind. You know, I'm just a kid from Plymouth, Minnesota, and thinking about all the things that I've been able to experience since finishing high school. And it blows my mind because when I was in your shoes, I really had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I was lost, confused, and I really was extremely unsure as to what my dreams truly were in my life. As I look back on my journey, there was a day that completely changed my path in life, completely changed what I was going to do with my life and allowed me to achieve all those dreams. And it was August 15th, 2018. And it was honestly one of the worst days of my life. But before I tell you what happened on that day, I think you need a little bit of a backstory, because my first dream in life, when I was a kid, I was convinced that I was destined to be the next Kobe Bryant. And I know we kind of look alike, so it makes a lot of sense, right? But I showed up every day in the gym, and I really thought that I was going to be an NBA player. But by the time that I got to be about your age in high school, I realized that my dreams of going to the NBA probably weren't going to happen. And I was devastated. I was devastated because basketball had been my whole life, but also when I looked forward to what is my life going to look like after high school, a lot of question marks. What do I really want to do? What is my life going to look like? What are my friends going to do? And whether you had a childhood dream or not, a lot of you in this room might feel the same way when you think about what is life really going to be like after high school? And what do I really want to do with my life? And you also might be getting asked a lot of questions right now, like, do you want to go to college? And which college do you want to go to? And what are you going to major in? And what do you want to do for the rest of your life? Who here has been asked any questions like this recently? Okay, and who here gets a little bit stressed and anxious and overwhelmed when thinking about trying to find the answers to all these questions like I do? Yeah, right? It's a weird time. And so my strategy when I was your age is I told myself, you know what, I've got to have a plan, and I got to have it as soon as I possibly can. And the fastest thing that I could possibly think of was, well, I'll just follow my dad's footsteps. I'll just do what my dad did, and I'll go to school, and I'll be a businessman. And so I go to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and I decided that just like basketball, I was going to show up, and I was going to be all in. I was going to study hard, get good grades, get the internships they told me to take. And by the end of my time in college, I thought to myself, I'm for sure going to have life figured out. But there was something funny that happened by the end of my time in college. I actually felt more lost, more confused, and more unsure as to what my life truly is going to look like. And on top of that, I was really struggling with my mental health and anxiety and this pressure of being like, this is when I'm supposed to have it figured out, and yet I still don't. And this was all leading up to August 15th, 2018. And it was the last day of my last ever internship as a student. And I was supposed to have a one-on-one meeting with the CEO that day. And we were going to talk about if I was going to come back and work at this company after I graduated. And on that day, I had just about enough because I was feeling miserable. I wasn't excited about the job. And so I walked into the CEO's office, and I just decided to be vulnerable and tell him, dude, I got to be honest with you. My mental health's in a bad place. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling lost. I don't really know what I want to do with my life. And before I leave here, because I know that I'm not going to come back and work here, I want to ask you a question. Because you're a big, successful CEO, multi-millionaire, house on the lake, the Minnesota dream, right? And I was like, I've never told anybody this, but I do have some dreams of starting a business and maybe traveling the world for work. And I really want to help people. I want to do something meaningful. And I remember telling him all this, and I said, do you have any advice for me as I'm about to start the next chapter of my life after school? And he looked me in the eyes, and he told me 4 words that I'll never forget. He said, Timmy, he said, you can't do that. He said, you can't just graduate and run off and start a business and travel and help people. He said, it's time for you to grow up. You're about to enter the real world, and there's a certain path towards success that you have to take. And unless you're willing to take it, you're probably not going to find a lot of success and happiness in your life. He said, I know that's not what you wanted to hear, but that's the truth. That's my advice to you. So I shook his hand. I walked out of his office. And again, I was crushed. I was crushed because I believed him. So maybe he's right. What do I know? Here's this big successful guy telling me that my dreams aren't possible. I know I'm miserable and I'm anxious and I'm confused and lost, but maybe if I just keep going down this path that somewhere down the road there's going to be some pot of gold waiting for me. I don't know. It didn't make sense to me, but that's the only answer that I had. Maybe this is what life is. So I go home that night and I'm laying in bed, and it's one of those nights that you're just kind of tossing and turning for hours, right? My eyes are closed, and 1 hour passes, and 2 hour passes, and 3 hour passes. And finally I just decided to take a deep breath. And I remember a voice popped into my head. And I don't know if it was my own intuitive reasoning or the universe or God or whatever you believe in, but the voice said, Timmy, he's wrong. He said, you can do it. This guy doesn't know you. He doesn't know your story. He doesn't know what you really want to do with your life. And so in that moment, I decided to take out a piece of paper, and I still have it. I took out a piece of paper, and I grabbed a pen, and I wrote down, I don't know what my dream life looks like or what my purpose is on this earth, but today is the day I'm committing to going after the life that I truly want to live. Today is the day that I'm signing a lifetime contract with my dreams. And I signed it and I dated it, August 15th, 2018. And as I look back on the journey now, I realize that when I was in your age, I thought that there was thousands of paths that I could take in life. Endless possibilities of things that I could do, but I realize now there's actually only 2 paths that you can take in life. The first path I now call the Dale's path. And this is the life that others want you to live, the path that others want you to take. It might be what your parents did. It might be what your friends are doing. It might be what the societal norms or expectations are of the times. But path number 2 I call the dreamer's path. And this is the path that's uniquely designed for each individual in this room based off of your gifts, your talents, your passion, and what you ultimately want most for your life. In the first lesson of my speech today, Dreamology 101, what are the steps that we can take to making our dreams a reality in life is you have to commit first to taking the path towards your true dreams. So as for me, the next day I wake up, right? And I'm feeling fired up for like a brief second. I'm fired up because I finally said, you know what? I'm going to go after my dreams. But there was still a big problem. I didn't really know what my dreams were, right? But I had an idea in that moment. I thought to myself, what if I treat this process of discovering and pursuing your dreams just like a class? And well, what do I mean by this? Well, somebody here name a class that's traditionally pretty hard at Eden Prairie. Just any class. A-Push. Okay. So your first day A-Push, when you walk into class, do you expect to know everything on the first day? Yes or no? No, right? You got to show up, you got to study, learn from the teacher, take the practice test, and by the end of the year, you're going to know a little bit more than when you first started, right? And so I thought to myself, well, maybe that's just like chasing our dreams. Because the problem might not be when we start that we don't have it figured out. The problem might be the pressure that we put ourselves to have all the answers before we've even taken action and taken the class. And so I decided to create my own field of study called Dreamology 101, the study of how to make your dream life a reality. And I even made my own textbook, which is basically a Google document. And it's now reached over 300 pages, where I decided to just write down everything that I tried, everything I learned, every person I met, and every place that I've been. But basically, in summary, the goal was start taking action and start learning from everything. And the first thing that I did is I wrote on this document, what were my starting dreams? Again, I didn't know specifically what I wanted to do with my life, but I knew broadly. I said, well, I know I want to be happy because I'm struggling with my mental health and anxiety. I know that I want to find my tribe because I had just finished school and a lot of my friends were moving to New York and Chicago, and I wanted to find people that were going to align with the life that I was trying to create for myself. And I knew I wanted to discover my purpose. Like, I want to do something meaningful work. I want to maybe travel, maybe start a business, maybe help people. So I'm writing all these things down, and my first step was, well, maybe I'll just start to share them with other people. And I realized that when you first start to share your dreams with people, you might get a lot of Dales. A lot of people that say, well, you can't do that. That's not realistic. No, don't try that. Go over here. And I realized early on, it's kind of like that scene in The Pursuit of Happiness, if you guys have seen it, where Will Smith's talking to his kid, and he's saying, people will tell you what you can and can't do with your life based off of the perceptions that they have of what they think that they can do with their life. It has nothing to do with you. And so if you want something, you got to go get it, period. And so I realized that 99% of people might not support our dreams, but I just got to find the 1% that will. And that 1% for me just happened to be my brother. Because at the time, he wanted to be a videographer. He now is. Shout out to Tyler. He's actually back there filming right now. What up, Ty? And he told me, he said, Timmy, he said, why don't me, you, and some of our friends, we go to this cafe in South Minneapolis, French Meadow, and we sit down and we actually talk about what are our true dreams in life. And I was like, that sounds like a great idea, because I had never done that. Most of my conversations at the time had revolved around sports or what girls that we were talking to in college. There was nothing quite substantial as, let's go sit down and talk about our dreams. We ended up meeting for 5 hours that night, and it was the first time ever that I had a space to openly share what I really want with my life, when people actually said, yes, you can, not no, you can't. People actually were going to support me in my dreams. And I realized that when you're going to go on this journey and start to share your dreams with others and start to pursue the things that you want with your life, it is so important to find people that are truly going to support you in being the person that you want to be, not the person that they want you to be. And so we're having these meetings, and I'm sharing, my dreams, and we're talking about different topics. And every week we start a meeting, and one of the topics that we brought up was this idea of finding teachers, right? Just like a class. I said, you got to take action and learn. You got to form your tribe, which I now call your dream mates. And you also have to have teachers, people who have been where you want to go in life. And the first teacher that I decided to bring into my life was somebody to help me with my mental health. Because honestly, at the time, I didn't really know what to do about it. I'd always been this happy guy who wears bright, weird colored clothes, and people just think this dude must struggle with absolutely nothing. But at the time, nobody knew that deep down that I had a lot of anxiety, and each and every day I woke up, and it was effort to just get out of bed and to go through my days. And I realized that there's a very dangerous mindset that we can have when we're struggling. We tell ourselves that I'm the only one that is going through this, so there's no way that anybody else could ever understand, because it stops us from reaching out and asking for help. And the irony is that now there's more studies done on this, right? There's more studies done on mental health, and we see that actually 62% of students today struggle with their mental health. So I definitely wasn't alone. And I want you to just mentally acknowledge, the person to your right and the person to your left. Everybody in this room is probably battling something that you have no idea what they're going through. And so I decided to hire a mindfulness coach. It's basically a therapist who uses the tools of mindfulness meditation to help me with my mental health and well-being. And there was no way that I would have been able to achieve the things that I've achieved with my life if I didn't go seek out help with my mental health. So that was the first teacher I brought into my life. The second teacher I brought into my life was somebody more in the career lane, because as we started to have these meetings, I started to realize maybe my purpose on earth is to build community, to help people chase their dreams, because I'd always been a community guy. I was captain of my basketball team, president of my fraternity. I loved getting people together, but I thought, well, what if I got people together to help them pursue their dreams? Like, it was changing my life, this small group of 7 guys, but there's probably thousands, if not millions of people out there who have dreams that they want to chase and they want to pursue. Maybe that's the route that I could take with my life. So I start to write down all these different ideas, all these thoughts, events and retreats and content and education, and I'm putting together this list of ideas, and then one day I'm scrolling social media, and I come across a man by the name of Charlie Rocket. And I see this photo. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, what is this guy doing? He's got a big, colorful, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air looking bus called the Dream Machine. He's traveling all across America, and he's raising money, and he's actually making dreams come true for people in need. He's building this community that's designed around people helping each other with their dreams. I'm like, this guy is doing exactly what I said that I wanted to do. And I remember I was getting so excited, and I called my brother, and I said, Tyler, Charlie's going to be in Milwaukee. It's only 6 hours from us, but I think we should go. I think we should go meet him on his tour and just talk to him and just see what he's all about. And so we decided to hop in the car, and we drove 6 hours to meet Charlie, and we hit it off. We hit it off because we decided to show up, and we decided to help. Tyler brought his camera. He was filming everything. I was showing up early for events and helping set up and staying late and helping take down. And eventually I told him, hey, dude, these are the dreams that I have for my life. I want to build a community for dreamers. This is what I want to do with my life. And he said, dude, that's exactly what I want to do with this vision and this Dream Machine movement. So my brother and I drive home, and 3 days later I get a call from Charlie. He said, Timmy, I got to be honest with you. Nobody's ever just showed up, helped in the way that you guys helped, had so much passion for what I was doing. He said, what would you guys think about joining me on this tour across the country where we're going to travel all across America, help make people's dreams come true, and help me start this business and this movement? Remember, my jaw was kind of dropped because honestly, my first thought was about Dale. I thought about Dale, who told me, you can't travel, you can't help people, you can't start a business, you're just a kid, you're just a student, you can't do that. And here I was being offered to do those exact things that Dale said I couldn't do, but not by myself, with my brother and with one of my biggest heroes and inspirations. So my brother and I hopped on the Dream Machine. Looks pretty on the outside, but the inside, it was definitely an old, smelly RV. And we started traveling the country. We hit New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, Nashville, Miami, Austin, Texas, Phoenix, Arizona, Las Vegas, Nevada, all the way to Los Angeles, and all across the country. The idea was pretty simple. It was, how can we use social media for social impact? How can we use social media to make dreams come true for people in need? I kind of call it like Make-A-Wish Foundation on wheels of sorts. But we would ask people what their dreams were, what are they struggling with, and then we would film it and we would share it online. And the more that the digital presence grew, the bigger and bigger ways that we could end up helping people. So we're doing this all across the country, and our digital following audience is growing, and then we get to Los Angeles. And when we got to Los Angeles, we told ourselves, you know what? This is the city for dreamers. Everybody moves to Los Angeles to chase their dreams. We have got to do the biggest dream yet. We've got to do something so big that inspires everybody that sees it to chase their dreams and to help others with their dreams as well. And it was during that time that we came across a homeless street artist by the name of Richard. And now when we met Richard, he told us that his dream in life was to have his art hang on the walls of a museum one day. Some homeless guy on the corner. We thought to ourselves, well, we can do that. But what if we make this the biggest dream yet? So we decided to make prints of his art. We decided to partner with Shopify and launch him a website. We decided to promote that website to our audience, and the video of us launching the website got over 500 million views on social media. We ended up selling $250,000 worth of art. We then threw him a sold-out art show in Beverly Hills, which these photos are from, where over 750 people showed up, and someone even bought an original painting for $23,000. We then were like, well, let's get celebrities and influencers involved. So we start hitting up celebrities, start hitting up influencers. And not just any celebrities and influencers, but some of the biggest in the world. People like Steve Harvey bought a painting because he said that when he was homeless, $3,000 saved him from homelessness. So he bought an original painting for $3,000. And then the most famous woman on earth, Oprah Winfrey, even bought an original painting for $5,000. It was unbelievable. Richard's dream had come true on the biggest level, and as far as us, our dream with the Dream Machine, we now had millions of people who were ready to help us make the next dream come true, and everybody was asking us, well, what are these guys going to do next? And so we decided to come up with an idea called the $1 Million Road Trip. We said we're going to do our second tour across America, and we're going to give away $1 million to people in need all across the country. And every single dream that we did on that tour was millions of views, celebrities, national news, and we ended up giving away over $3 million on that tour. And just one of the dreams that I want to share from you from that tour was a young man by the name of Matthew. And now Matthew was a young man with cerebral palsy. Matthew was told that he would never be able to walk a day in his life. And his dream was just that, to be able to walk. But he also said that if he could do something for work creatively, that he would love to have an inspirational clothing line because he'd love to inspire people who are facing adversities to never give up and to keep going. And so we helped Matthew launch his clothing brand, Violets Are Kind of Purple. And this time, we sold $350,000 worth of clothing, and we even got celebrities like Akon, Kevin Hart, and Mike Tyson to wear and promote Matthew's clothing. Matthew's dream had come true, and not just the clothing dream. Because as we started to meet with Matthew, I noticed that his physical health, his mental health, his spiritual health were all improving because his life for the first time had purpose, had a meaning. He was going after something he truly cared about. And it has now been 2 years since this moment, and I just saw a video literally last week of Matthew for the first time in his life walking downstairs, using the handrail, but walking downstairs for the first time in his entire life. And I'm like, that is the power of chasing a dream. And those were the moments. Those were my favorite moments. You know, in the 3 years that I worked with Charlie, we got to do a lot of cool things. We built this following of 9 million people, and we did tours all across the country. We even lived in a content home in Los Angeles for like a year and a half, and we collaborated with all these celebrities like Steph Curry and Jake Paul and MGK and, all these different people, and all that was cool. But I realized that the coolest part of this journey, and maybe the secret to living a fulfilling and meaningful life, is giving back to others. Because there was no greater joy than watching my guy Matthew and seeing Kevin Hart walk in the room and see him be like, what? I mean, can you imagine a kid who's probably been ignored his entire life, in a wheelchair, no friends, nobody to talk to, nowhere to go. His mom has to go everywhere with him. All of a sudden, he's hanging out with Kevin Hart. And as for all of us in this room, I realize that might just be the secret of living. The secret of living might just be giving. It might just be, how can we use our gifts and our talents and our skills to simply make somebody else's life better? I promise you that I met some of the biggest celebrities on earth, and they would tell us, dude, I have not had this much fun in years. And all we were doing was helping people. And it wasn't always hundreds of thousands of dollars. Sometimes it was buying a cup of coffee for a stranger, or leaving a note on somebody's car and watching them read it and saying, hey, you got this, keep going. But those were some of the best moments of my life. And for me, I've decided to commit the rest of my life to this, to giving back to others. I've launched my own company, Dreamer State University, a school to help people build their dream life. And I'm now on this mission to be the first person ever to give 50 speeches in 50 states at schools all across America, talking to students about their dreams. And it's been about 10 years since I've been in your shoes. I'm 27 years old, and the funny thing is, I look back at it now, truthfully, I still don't have it figured out. There's a lot of things that I'm still struggling with, and I remember the day when I realized, well, maybe figuring it out isn't the goal. Maybe that's not the purpose of life, because I met homeless people and billionaires. I met wannabe musicians and the biggest musicians on earth, and if there was one thing that I could tell you for certain, it's that nobody has perfected life. Nobody does not struggle with something. Nobody is not facing challenge, facing adversity. Nobody that you meet is like, oh, you figured it out, you cracked the code, you did it, you have a perfect life. And when I realized that, I thought to myself, if nobody has it figured out, then that maybe takes us all back to the two choices that we can take with our life. We can either tell ourselves, oh, I don't have it figured out, and I'm imperfect, and I'm flawed, and you know what? I'm not capable of going after my dreams. Maybe somebody else, but not me. I'm not going to stay on this path over here. This one feels safe. This one feels like it's nice and cozy. Or we can tell ourselves, you know what, man? I don't have it figured out. I am imperfect. I am human. But you know what? So is everybody in this room. And it seems like the people that achieve their dreams in life are the ones that decide to say, well, I don't have it all figured out, and I am imperfect, but I'm going to go for it anyways. And because I made that decision to go for it on August 15th, 2018, and sign this contract with my dreams, I've gotten to live out some of my biggest dreams in life. I'm only 27 years old. Am I perfect? No. Do I have it all figured out? No. But I've gotten to live out some of my biggest dreams in life. And I've also gotten to learn these lessons that anybody can take, that I want to leave with you today on how you can make your dreams come true after you leave high school as well. And these are the lessons that I shared throughout the speech. Lesson number one, it's to commit to the path towards your true dreams in life, not the path that others want you to live. Lesson number two is to write and share your dreams with others. I always say, how are people supposed to know what your dreams are if you don't tell them? Lesson number three is, just like a class, you have to take action and learn from everything. Lesson number four is to form your dream mates, because you cannot do it alone. Lesson number five is to find your teachers, those who have been where you want to go in life. And if you don't know where you want to go in life, a good teacher to get to start is someone who can help you find where you want to go in life. Lesson number six is to prioritize your mental health and well-being, because if you don't prioritize this thing, I promise you, you will never be able to experience your dreams in life. Lesson number seven is that the secret of living is giving. There's no better thing that we can all commit our life to than using our gifts and talents to make a positive impact on others, both in and outside of work. And lesson number eight is to be all in. To be all in. If there was one mistake that I didn't make on this journey, is that I was all in for every single part of it. And I realized as I stepped back That even the moments when I was in high school and I was super lost, even the moments after college and I was super lost and confused, all of those moments, all of those chapters of my life had a purpose into building me into the person that I am today. And so for the rest of your time here at Eden Prairie, just be all in. Be all in. Take advantage of every moment you have with your classmates, with your friends, every class you're taking, the capstone that you guys are doing here. And make the most of the rest of your time here at Eden Prairie, because these teachers in this room, the teachers in this building, the administrators, you might not think about it, but they literally commit their lives to helping you build your future. They want you to be successful, so use them and take advantage of all they have to offer for you. And also, as far as me, I want to see all your dreams come true. And so today, I want to give you an opportunity to make the same decision that I made on August 15th, 2018. When the speech is over, I actually have dream contracts for all of you guys. And I want you to go home tonight and just take 10 minutes. I call it dream work. I know you guys probably don't like homework, so we'll call it dream work. Just go home and truly ask yourself, what are my true dreams in life? It might seem silly. It might. But I promise you that by writing your dreams down and hanging them on the wall and having a reminder every single day to go after what you really want in life, that it could completely change your life. And if you forget everything that I tell you here today, I want you to remember this just one thing. It's that most people never get to experience their dreams in life. And we know this because there was a study done. There was a study done on the number one regret of the dying. And this study was asking people who were about to lose their life, what are the things that you regret most in life? And above anything else, 76% of people said that I wished I had the courage to live the life that I truly wanted to live, not the life that others wanted me to live. I wish I had the courage to live the life that I truly wanted to live and not the life that others wanted me to live. And if I had one goal today, one goal at all, it's that nobody in this room, including myself, including the teachers, are part of that statistic. Nobody gets to the end of their life and is like, dang, I wish I had the courage to go after my dreams. So this contract might seem silly. Writing your dreams down might seem silly. Signing a piece of paper that you created for yourself might seem silly, but it's the first step to say, I'm going to commit. I'm going to commit to going after my dreams in life because there's going to be a lot of people that tell me I can't. And if I live my entire life based off the expectations and opinions of others, then I'm not going to find the true happiness that I want in life. But if I first make that step to commit to the path towards my dreams and I commit to doing these different things on the list, I promise you that you will all be able to experience any dream that you want for your life. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of my Dreamology 101 speech. Thank you very much.